Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Mr. Omar Lewis back at you with another video. Oh yeah, and today we're gonna be responding to a few comments that I've received from you guys here on my YouTube channel. So if you're watching this on Instagram, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's called The Almighty Lewis, and if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. Alright, so let me go ahead and pull up some of these comments. Now, I have responded to some of these comments, just to be clear, but some of them I have yet to respond, and I was actually saving it for this video because I felt like responding to those comments through video would be something quite fun and interesting. Let's see how this goes. So let me go ahead and start with the most recent ones, and then I'll go from there to the more older comments. So the most recent comment that I've gotten, which I personally find very cool, very awesome, and just exciting, because it's always good to hear when somebody actually watches a video and actually implements what I tell them to do in the video, and they feel the help in their lives. So let me go ahead and start with this one. Let me go ahead and read it for you guys. And this one says, by the way, this one's from Will G. It says, "Man, you have helped me so much. I have a big problem with this relationship. I am the one who is assuming in my relationship. Thank you so much, bro. Thanks, from Chicago." All right, shout out to Chicago, and shout out to you, my boy Will G. All right, so this video is actually this comment is from a video I made it like right after the lockdown. So once I had access to come to the office again, when I was making videos hardcore relentlessly, this was one of the first videos that I made as soon as we came back. And so the name of the original video is Assumptions Poison Relationships. So if that's a topic that you're interested in, go ahead and check that out. It's here on my channel. But yeah, so first of all, thank you very much, Will G. I'm very happy that you were able to watch that video and you were able to realize that you're the one who's assuming, because yes, assumptions do poison relationships. They completely kill them. Maybe it's not something that happens with you assuming one thing or two things, but in the long run, if you continue to just assume things about the other individual you're with, eventually you're just gonna destroy the relationship completely, because the other person would just feel that you're just not completely understanding them, and instead of listening to them, you're just assuming things about them, and that nobody likes that. And so good thing that you noticed that, because you have to stop doing that, because if you want to save your relationship. So yeah, a little bit about that. I mean, obviously, if you want to learn more about this in more detail, go watch the video. But yes, a lot of us tend to assume things about the other person, and this could be for many reasons. Maybe you're just lazy and you don't want to actually go in there, ask questions. Maybe you don't want to have more deep and insightful conversations with that individual that will actually give you information and will let you know what this other person thinks and how they see the world and their perspectives and stuff like that. So for whatever reason you're assuming, it's not good, and you have to stop doing that. And the way you do that is by expressing some empathy. Express some empathy for the other person. You're in a relationship with this person. It doesn't have to necessarily be a love relationship. Maybe it's a friendship, maybe it's a work relationship, but regardless, it's a relationship. And if you're watching this and this is something that's resonating with you, it's probably because you want to save that relationship, right? You want to stop assuming. And so the way you stop assuming is by actually having some empathy. Express some empathy for the other individual. Show them that you actually care. And this isn't some technique or anything like that. This is something that you genuinely want to do. If you're spending time with this other individual, it's because this other individual has some value to you. You care about them. And because of that, you actually want to get to know this person for real. And the way you do that is by talking to these people, having deep conversations, and expressing empathy when you have these conversations. All right, so moving on to the next one. This one's from a video I made quite a while ago, actually. It's called "The Truth About Stepping Out of Your Comfort Zone Finally Revealed," right? So this one comes from Creston Hardcastle, and I'm guessing it's his wife. the one leaving the comment here, so let me go ahead and read that. As Creston's wife, I disagree. I know if I had not stepped out of my comfort zone, I would still attract toxic people, and I would be in a bad marriage and around toxic family members. I never would have gotten divorced, and I never would have found my soulmate. It's not good to not get out of your comfort zone. It creates complacency and laziness if we stay in our comfort zone, even if you don't have toxic people. All right, so first of all, congratulations for finding your soulmate. And second of all, I'm pretty sure in that video I never said to never step out of your comfort zone. What I did say though is that you should step out of your comfort zone when it makes sense. So obviously you can step out of your comfort zone in many ways. So you can go and do uncomfortable things all day, every day. There's so many uncomfortable things that you can do, right? However, it wouldn't make sense if you just randomly doing things that scare you every single day without having a single purpose besides just stepping out of your comfort zone, because at that point you're wasting time. You're wasting time because when you step out of your comfort zone, that's a big deal. When you really step out of your comfort zone, when you really feel fear, you feel like your emotions are boiling up in there, your heart rate is up. It's not something that you it's not necessarily an enjoyable experience, and because of that you don't want to be doing it constantly every single day either, because eventually you're going to burn out and you're just going to go insane. You're going to lose it, and you're going to be down for a few days where you just won't be able to step out of no comfort zone, and you're going to be seeking so much comfort, and that's even worse, because now you're going to be seeking comfort in like high amounts because you want to compensate for all that discomfort that you just went through. And so it's not good to burn yourself out. Obviously you want to have a proper balance of you stepping out of your comfort zone if you can. Of course, sometimes you do have to overdo it because the situation calls for it, but after that make sure you recover properly. But yeah, going back to the main point here, every time you step out of your comfort zone, make sure it has a purpose. Make sure it's something that's actually worth your time. So maybe you have a passion, maybe let's just say you like playing basketball, right? So stepping out of your comfort zone may be to go and join some league, right? So you're trying to join some team, but obviously you're a little bit scared that maybe you don't know how it's going to work out, because you're going to go and join some random team of random players and you just don't know what the hell is going to happen there. But at the same time, that going and joining that team is actually a good thing for you, because you're going to start getting that practice of playing with a team, bonding with the team, connecting with them, and learning how to play as a team, right? Instead of you just playing individually, or you just playing with your friends, which, playing with your friends can be fun and everything, but who knows? Maybe your friends aren't as skilled. Maybe your friends are just not as motivated. They're not as committed to the game as you are. Maybe you want to excel much higher, and so your friends can only take you so far because your friends only care about playing basketball for fun, and perhaps you want to play for real. You actually want to take basketball to another level. You want to become a pro perhaps one day, and so the way to do that is to start challenging yourself. And so yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to step out of your comfort zone. You're probably going to be playing against people you've never played. You're going to be playing beside people you've never played with. Maybe you're going to have a coach for the first time, so you're going to have to listen to your coach and learn how to follow instructions, not only before the game but while you're playing. Your coach may be telling you to make certain moves while you're playing. And so if you know anything about basketball, when you're playing, you're sweating, there's a lot of emotions involved. The game can be pretty intense, and so following instructions under those circumstances can be a little bit uncomfortable, because maybe you're just focused on winning, or maybe you're focused on not losing, and which is worst. And so that's very uncomfortable, but at the same time it's something that makes sense because it's aligned with your passions. It's aligned with something that you really want to do. And so stepping out of your comfort zone in that situation does make sense, because it will improve you. It will make you a better basketball player mentally and physically. So that makes sense. Now let's just take the same guy and ask him to go and do something completely relevant. Let's ask him to go and program an app for us, right? Now for him, he has no experience programming apps, and so if we ask him to go do that, sure, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable for him to go and create an app, especially if he has no idea what the hell coding is, has no experience with programming. Not only that, but he's seen it before and it just looks creepy. It just looks like it's, what the hell is that, right? It looks very confusing. And so you're asking this person to go and write an app, right? In that case, it doesn't really make sense if you're not exactly planning to have a career in app development or anything along those lines of programming, because sure, you could take some value. You could go and spend your time over there trying to develop that app and doing all this and that, and you know, stepping out of your comfort zone is going to be uncomfortable, but you're going to learn new things, sure. But at the same time, does it really make sense? Does it really make sense to go and invest your time doing something like that and stepping out of your comfort zone doing that and expending energy that could be otherwise allocated to something more related to basketball, which is your true passion, which is something that you yourself find very exciting, you know? So this is the only thing that I would say when it comes to stepping out of your comfort zone. Always do it from a place of alignment. And there's even times where people try to convince you that this is the right thing to do, right? To go and step out of your comfort zone in a certain area. But you have to ultimately listen to your own intuition and see if this is something that's worth your time. Is it something that's really aligned with your overall purpose and your goals? Because let's just be honest, time is valuable. And so you don't want to be spending time in the wrong places. So that's all I have to say about that. Again, congratulations on finding your soulmate. So moving on, this one's from a video that's also a while ago. Actually, this one's more recent, and this one's about destroying the myth that shy people are introverts. So yeah, so this comment was left by DJ Hart. That's a pretty cool name. And DJ Hart says, I don't believe in introversion and extroversion. So I actually made a video about that not too long ago. It's a pretty recent one where I explained why introversion does exist and why you should know for a fact if you are an introvert or you're an extrovert or you're an ambiverts, whatever the combination of the two is, you know, where you have like a little bit of both, right? But it's good to know which one you have. And the reason why it's good to know which one you have is because both come with their strengths and their weaknesses, and you as a person, you have to understand what your strengths and weaknesses are. And so if you're an introvert, you got to understand that as an introvert you have certain strengths and certain weaknesses. And so you studying introversion, if you're an introvert, will help you a lot to really understand yourself. And ultimately, when you understand yourself, you just operate much better in the world and you're able to live a happier life because you understand who you are. And so if you understand that you as an introvert, you work better in quiet places, you're better at focusing, you love to study, you love to you don't necessarily enjoy high stimulating environments and stuff like that, you can go in and choose a career or a job, you know, that's somewhere along those lines, and choose your passions along those lines as well, because that's where your strengths are. That's where you're going to shine the most, and that's where you're going to feel the happiest, the most comfortable, and you'll be able to provide the most value. And of course, you know, the competence level is going to be much higher because you're actually using your strengths, so you have a higher chance to actually succeed once you actually go out there and pick your career and start operating from that place. As opposed to if you didn't know what you were, you might end up choosing the wrong career, and then you might be asking yourself, what the hell is going on, right? Like if you're an introvert and you try to pursue a career in sales. Now, sure, there's a lot of courses out there, there's a lot of education that can teach you how to perform sales, and you as an introvert, you can become a very good salesperson, but you'll never become like a massive beast. You'll never feel like fulfilled. You'll never feel like, you know, this is my thing, right? Like I feel like I own sales, right? And I'm like the beast, I'm like the best salesperson in the world. You're never gonna feel that way because sales requires a lot of extroversion. You know, you're always constantly interacting with people, trying to build rapport with people, trying to connect with people and network with them and talk to them and all this stuff, right? And there's a lot of back and forth. And if you're an introvert, well, you don't necessarily enjoy talking as much. Obviously, you do enjoy talking with a selected amount of people, but that's people that you select. You know, in sales, you pretty much have to talk to everybody because you never know which one's the the customer and which one is not until you actually go in there, interact with the customer, and start asking the right questions to see if they're a potential buyer or not. And so yeah, so you pretty much have to put in that work. There's a lot of talking involved, and yeah, so you have to understand what you are. Now, if you're an extrovert, you obviously don't want to choose like something that's more introverted. Like maybe as an extrovert, you don't want to choose something like an office job or something around like programming or video editing, right? Because those type of jobs, you know, they require for you to be sitting down somewhere for long periods of time, you know, without having to interact with the world. And if you're an extrovert and you constantly need to be talking to people, you don't want to be stuck in a place like that. You actually want to be somewhere out there. Maybe you want to work as a salesperson, like I said. Maybe you want to work as a I don't know, maybe you want to work in a restaurant, you know, where you get to talk to people, customers and stuff like that, right? And yeah, so I think it's important for you to understand if you're an introvert and an extrovert. To say that these two don't exist, I think that's quite ignorant. There's a lot of information out there, a lot of facts, a lot of data, a lot of science proving that these two are a real thing, and you just denying the fact that they exist, and you denying yourself, you know, the ability to go out there and actually learn about these things. You're just doing yourself a disservice, and you're doing a disservice to my audience here. So if you're watching this, my audience, just know that introversion and extroversion do exist. If that's your opinion about it, I completely respect it, but here are my thoughts about it. Both do actually exist. All right, so moving on. This one's from John Curry. This is actually from one of the shorts that I made a while ago, a long time ago, when I was making shorts. I haven't made shorts actually in a while. Maybe I should start making shorts again. I don't know, but this was a video, a short called Fuck Motivation. So this is where I pretty much just said that you don't really need motivation. What you really need is discipline. You know, if you want to attain any sort of success, you need to be disciplined enough to complete certain tasks throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the days. You want to be accomplishing things every single day. Even on the days that you don't necessarily feel like it, you still have to go out there, take action, and make stuff happen if you actually want to be successful, and not necessarily always wait for you to feel good, to feel motivated, to feel pumped, right? To go and take action, because that happens once in a while. It's not a constant, but if you're disciplined, you can always go out there and take action no matter how you're feeling. So this person said, man, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's completely understandable because it is a short, so pretty much I went straight at it. It's not a video where I sat down like right here and started to explain myself what's going on and why I am saying what I'm saying. So I completely understand that you think that I don't know what I'm talking about, but I pretty much just explained it to you. I think motivation is cool when you have it, but it's not something that you should rely on, because it's not constant. It's like an emotion. It comes and goes. So you shouldn't completely rely on it in order to take action, because it comes and it goes, and sometimes it takes a while for it to come back. Sometimes you won't feel motivated for an entire week, an entire month. So what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna sit down and just, you know, wait until the motivation comes to you and then take action after a month? Like, that's just not the way we operate here. In my opinion, that's very unproductive. That gives you an excuse to procrastinate, and that's just very lazy, to be honest. So don't go that route. Be disciplined, and don't worry too much about motivation. All right, so moving on. This comment, I did respond to it actually, but I'll just mention it here because I thought it was pretty nice, and I think this might be the oh no, okay, so we have a few more here. So this one's from Amy. She commented on a video that I called a video dedicated to every introvert out there. So if you're an introvert, I highly recommend that you go and you watch that video. It's very touchy, it's very special. Definitely, it's something that you'll definitely enjoy watching. But yeah, so she said a few things here. It's quite a thing. And by the way, Amy actually has a YouTube channel, which I do recommend. I actually went and checked it out when she left this comment. It's actually really nice. I personally am not into dogs. or animals too much, but if you are, I highly recommend that you go and check out this lady's channel. But yeah, so I'll leave a link down below so you guys can check out her YouTube channel. But yeah, so this is what she said on the comment. So it's divided into two. It's two comments pretty much on the same video. And so here we go. So she said, "Hi, I just found your channel video while searching under motivate." Funny. Great content, continue to motivate. Introvert mom, 4 sons, 2 autistic. Enjoying the YouTube community, learning from others while trying to grow my YouTube channel, which is dog therapy, music to save pups, human lives. God bless. I forgot to mention that I just clicked and subscribed to your channel. Well, thank you very much for subscribing. But yeah, I mean, this is quite amazing. I mean, what she's doing with her YouTube channel, I think is pretty cool. Given the circumstances that she's going through too, you know, that's props there. She's doing something quite amazing, and yeah, like I said, her YouTube channel is amazing if you're into that stuff. So go and check it out. I personally subscribed, even though I'm not exactly too much into it, but I still want to support. And so yeah, shout out to Amy, thank you very much. And yes, so we move on. Now this one is actually from my friend Sam. His name is not actually on the thing because he used a different like username, so whatever. But he left a comment on one of my videos called "Frequency Over Perfection. Do first, perfect later." So definitely that's something that I still believe to this day. You should always focus on the frequency of your content as opposed to the quality of it at first, because at first you just want to start pumping. You want to start pumping content out, and then later, once you've already gotten used to pumping out content, you can start improving on it, making little adjustments here and there. But I wouldn't focus too much on nitpicking and making subtle adjustments too early on in the journey, until you've actually put in the work, put in the hours. You've actually done it several times where you feel very comfortable just doing the content itself, and then you know you want to start making it a little bit more cool. And so yeah, so he left a comment saying, "Wow, this is incredible stuff. Exactly what I've been struggling with for my entire professional career. Great advice. I love it. Thank you very much." It's something that a lot of people struggle with, you know, perfection. They always want to perfect things, and they want things to be perfect, like really nice and stuff. But the thing is that once you start focusing on trying to perfect things and trying to make things look really good and everything, you start to spend way too much time on content that you shouldn't be, right? Instead of actually pumping out more content that people can actually consume. Or perhaps it's products, you know, like in his case, it's actually products, you know, he has a business, and so the things he's struggling with is the end product. So he's pretty much waiting until the product is perfect until he puts it out there. And so, you know, in that case, of course, you know, it's a product, you want to make it look as good as possible, but you know, there's only a certain degree, right? And so if you're just starting off, I wouldn't necessarily suggest that you focus too much on getting it perfect. Focus on actually the frequency, on getting it out there, you know, repetition, because that repetition itself will give you a lot of insight that you wouldn't be able to get if you just started wanting to perfect things right from the start, because you just don't have the ability, you just don't have the know-how at first to do those things. So you have to continuously, repetitively do that content, gather some info, gather some feedback, you know, look at your own work and see what you could have done differently, and then improve that on the next piece of content, and so on and so forth. But always continue producing, focus more on the frequency over the quality at first, and then later, once you've already pumped out a lot, your frequency is very high, then you can start lowering the frequency and start focusing more on perfection, focusing on, you know, cutting down a little bit on the frequency, and now going, you know, increasing the perfection. So, you know, focusing on putting out more higher quality content as opposed to putting out just more content. But that comes later, once you have experience, once you've done it for a very long time, that you feel very comfortable already with the content. So yeah. Thank you, Sam. And This comment, I don't know if it's true or not. It sounds a little bit spammy, but I'm gonna go ahead and read it anyway. How to forgive yourself. So that's a very strong, very good video. Actually, I think this is a video actually I did before the lockdown itself, so it's a pretty old video. But the person DIIXCSGO, that's the username. They're saying awesome video, hands up if you are enjoying this video right now. See you around. All right, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, you know. What can I say? Thank you very much for finding that video awesome. It's definitely a great and fantastic video that I find very helpful if you're continuously like blaming yourself for things that you've done in the past, mistakes that you've done in the past. Learn how to forgive yourself, learn how to let most of those things go, and just try to embrace living a more happy life of self-acceptance. So yeah. All right, and that is pretty much it. Those are all the comments that I received on my YouTube channel. Not that many, but that's why I wanted to make a video out of it, because I knew that it wasn't going to be too many of them, and you know, the video wasn't going to get too long. The video did actually go quite long, actually. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure that if you have any comments, comment down below, and you know, maybe your comment will be read in the next video. I would love to read it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I had an amazing experience reading all those comments. Thank you to everybody who left a comment on my channel. Highly appreciated. And yeah, make sure you subscribe if you're an introvert. Make sure you subscribe if you enjoy what you just saw right now. And other than that, I hope to see you in the next video. Subscribe, like, watching this on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Almighty Lewis. Other than that, thank you very much. See you in the next video.